I had 3 pictures, and they were rectangle, and they were kind of just floating around while I was in meditation. And for some reason, my mind went to one picture, and I went into the picture. Like, I literally went into the picture, and then I was in another place and another time.
Wow.
And it was in my past. And I was like, I think I came out of that meditation, and I was like, what the fuck? I mean, it was insane. But if people don't try to meditate and push through the pain in your back, push through, oh, I meditate, but I just fall asleep. I get it, because transcendental meditation didn't work for me. Nothing worked for me until the guided meditations. But what you find there and what you discover is your true inner self. And it is the natural state of everything, because we are all one. And it is pure, unconditional love. And it will just
Love and bliss.
Love and bliss. It will remake everything about you. It will cure the past. It will, I mean, everything. It's like hit the reset. Insecurities, boom. Addictions, boom. Depression. I haven't had depression in a year and a half. And I mentioned, I go for 4 days and it would get dark.
No,
and it got so bad that sometimes I wondered, is this life even worth living? I mean, I never probably would have said that to anybody, but that's literally what, if I wasn't brought up crazy religious, I mean, who knows what some people might do. And that's why we're making these videos.
Exactly.
Those people in that place,
yeah.
in that pain and that suffering, they have to know something exists. Maybe just real quick, I think if folks want to figure out who we are, if this is their first video, maybe go check out the first one. I did kind of an intro on the first one. That might have chased away future subscribers, but I think I really explained what we're all about here, and just maybe the one-liner is real guys that have experienced an awakening. This series of videos that we're doing is really about, if you want to use the woo-woo word, it's about integrating kind of what we've found from a spiritual standpoint, and then being able to use that to optimize yourself and really thrive in this human world, or this relative world. I think we referenced in the first video, kind of going back and maybe trying to help folks understand, if they haven't experienced an awakening, what is it, and what the experience was, and maybe why we think we were blessed with this. And I think we talked a lot about it in the first video, which is, right, it's like flipping a switch inside. I've been doing another video too. I'm going to post one today on transformation and the process we went through for folks that may be in pain or have some depression or some deep-seated kind of issues they need to dig deep and do some healing. But we're going to keep this one light, other than talking about your awakening or enlightenment experience. We don't get caught up in the words, right? We're just 2 guys. On this other video I was doing, I think the most important message that I included in that video is, all the answers are within you. If you ever have a question about what's the right thing to do, you don't need to listen to a guru. You don't need to listen to somebody else. It's right within you. If you'll just pause, get present, let it kind of sit, and it will come to you.
The one thing I wanted to point out, though, is I was being awakened before I didn't even know what this was going on. It all started when you sent me a video. It was a walking meditation by Dr. Joe Dispenza.
Let's be clear. we have a process. I think we started off trying to manifest money and trading stocks, and how can we
How can we get that big boat?
how can we retire sooner?
Yeah.
And then you know, and because his philosophy is a lot about manifesting.
Yes.
It's you know, seeing the future and you know, having an intention, a thought, connecting the emotion, but deep in meditation. And let's be clear, we may not agree on everything that he teaches, and we've taken nuggets of what we've done in our process from a lot of different experts or teachers or books, which we're going to cover. But his meditations are powerful, and
They are.
and to me the most critical piece of the puzzle.
Agree.
So yeah, I mean, he could give credit where it's due. I mean, that his guided meditations with the music and the talk. Okay, let's be honest, the voice is strange, and on all the comments, I think people punt a little bit too quick because he's got a process and an approach. It's basically hypnotism, right? See the space, and he does some weird voices, but they freaking work.
Remember the first time you sent me that, I was listening to it and I thought, this guy is a bad 80s singer because he was like into the void. And I'm like, what the is this? You know? So I go, but I did say, you know, I'm going to give it a shot.
Yeah.
I'm going to give it a, you know, James sent me this. It's got to be good. I'm going to let it go. And I'm like, I had a plan for like a 20-minute walk. And I looked down and I go, oh my God, this thing's an hour long. But I just kept going. And pretty soon it felt like something just hooked my heart and was pulling me. And I was just walking as fast as I could down the street. And then I'm hearing 1, 4, 6. And I'm like, what does these numbers mean? Well, later on I found out, oh, those are chakra points.
We won't call them chakra points because that's a little too spiritual. He calls them
Because
energy
that
centers.
points to
Yeah.
it. But anyways, yeah, so then at the end, I remember I took my earphones off and I started looking around and I go, God, these trees are beautiful, you know? I mean, that street sign, this, and I was like, what is going on? But I just recognized all the beauty around me, so I was like, there's something to this. And that hooked me right then.
Well, I just had a couple thoughts, and maybe the first one is that was an uncomfortable situation, right? It was out of the norm. Your initial thought was, what is this? Bad 80s, right? Maybe that's the ego. That's the ego pushing back on change and trying to judge and criticize. So
Judgment.
right. So if you shut that meditation off right there, you're just like, what is this crap James sent me? And you don't keep going forward, you get none of this.
Yes, agree.
Which most people, when you use the word awakening or enlightenment or this is a miracle or this is the reset button for the human condition, they're just like, these guys are insane.
They have their preconceived judgment on it and go, okay, these guys are a couple, you know, spiritual wackos, but they have no idea the beauty of all of this. You know, it's just amazing. Let's face it, man. I've seen you cry probably like 20 times.
My first date was on horseback. I grew up in Texas. Men don't cry. Real men do cry, right?
Is there a song about that? Well, boys don't cry, actually.
Oh, I don't know. That's an 80s flashback.
There I go, back to the 80s.
But anyways, that's the strategy for these videos, right? We have fun. God, if we're not having fun, we're not making videos. I think we both agree on that. But we keep it light. We joke a little bit, but every once in a while we got to bring it back to what this is all about, which is the experience and how we're using it in life and using it to manage through especially the challenging times. So I'm sitting here like in the back of my mind wondering, like, at which point does the Ritz Carlton kick us out of here?
I'm waiting for it to happen. I'm sure do you want me to go into some of the beginning
Yeah,
strange stories?
let's just free flow.
Okay.
I'll edit it out if it's crap.
There you go. So some of the beginning meditations, and again, I didn't know what this stuff was about. I was just like, oh, this is interesting. Anyways, in the beginning, I went from being deep in these meditations. And again, it's kind of like that state when you're just about ready to fall asleep at night. But I remember certain things. And I wish I kept a journal. James is the organized one. So, anyways, but
Talk about your hand and like I've mentioned in some, like I'll notice that my arm just starts going up, and going back to like the centers, the 1, 2, 4. I mean, that's the energy moving, right, in the meditation.
Yep.
And maybe if some people don't even know what meditation is or how you do it, but if folks don't know, there's lots of different ways to meditate.
Yes.
I think the traditional is a transcendental meditation in silence. One is, focus on an object and try to just keep your thoughts there. And then over time, you will start to go into a natural state of a meditative state. And I think the Buddhist monks sit cross-legged and stare at a wall for 8 hours a day, which sounds painful to me. But there's,
back issues.
I think the guided meditation with the music and someone talking you through it, and then having some form of a hypnotic process at the beginning, like Dr. Joe's space. And I've heard others are kind of imagining yourself floating in a pool and you're going deeper and deeper and deeper. Forget about the drowning thought, but for me, just his style works magic. Now, it may be just a recap. We said we came into this, we're both trading stocks and stuff, and we came into this we wanted improvement, but it was really about, growing wealth and retiring sooner and having a big boat, all that kind of nonsense. And it really did become nonsense once we got into meditation. I feel like once the meditations started, it was powerful fast. And then when I was in meditation, I was connecting with unbounded consciousness or the universe, the divine, whatever people want to call it. And it's like it just started reorganizing stuff. It took me where I needed to go from a spiritual standpoint to start to fix some of that crap from childhood. And I mean it's true. Like I've heard, John. I like John Burney. He's really focused on after awakening and how do you manage it, because some people have a rude awakening. Some, like ours, seemed gradual. Like you don't want it like fast. You want it to slowly kind of take over and work its magic and heal you and refine you so that you can. But can you imagine if you, like some people are walking down the street and it just happens, or some people have crazy mind-altering visions, and I've heard stories. I'm glad mine was pretty crazy, and I'll share mine at some point, but you shared yours, so I might as well just do mine. There's no reason to wait. But so I mentioned I'm doing these transformation videos, these three videos where I walk through the process we used. I'm literally looking at my journal, just going page to page to page, and all the different guys I followed, and for a year and a half. I have written down a year and a half ago. It's like a goal setting, personal philosophy, all this stuff. But at the end of the day, it's the meditations. And the sleep meditation for healing, the walking meditation, those were, I think, the first two, and they were intense. And you go so deep if you just let go. Just let go. And I think the most important term out of all of the terms about awakening is surrender. You're not going to awaken until you surrender. And I don't mean, okay, I'll just go with it. I mean completely surrender and let that old self die and that new self be reborn. But my meditations were so deep. and so emotional. But it's funny, like you say, like cry, like I would cry or a tear coming down. Half the time I was crying because of this sheer joy and this unending love I felt in meditation while I'm floating. You literally feel like you're floating in this vast space of nothing. And that's where you are. You are no time, no space, no body. You are just
Nothing, yeah.
floating. And in that state, like I posted that response on Quorum way back that's got like 350,000 views. And that's why we decided to start sharing our story more, because of the response. But man, I saw crazy stuff. Like I would see almost portals in time. Like if you imagine like a picture, like I think I told you the story when it happened. I'd kind of forgotten a lot of it. I've forgotten most of the stuff that's happened, but they were floating.
Did you see an island out over the ocean?
I saw an island. I could, in what I would see when I was in meditation floating in this no time, I could see places, and I could, in my mind, go right there. Like you hear about UFOs just dart across the sky, like immediately. I was doing that in my meditations, and it was like something, or the divine intelligence, whatever, was taking me places in my mind to show me. And that's how the healing was happening. And I saw visions, and they were real. They were so real, like the most real dream you've ever had of like when I was a child. And like, you did this on purpose.
No, I was thinking
Anyways.
this was coming, but
Yeah. So, but I was talking about the pictures for a second.
dude, I'm gonna start crying.
No, we're not going to do that. I'm just going to pause. If I go silent, that's what that is. Especially now that
All good.
we got people starting to roll by us. But the pictures, like I remember in one, I had 3 pictures, and they were rectangle, and they were kind of just floating around while I was in meditation. And for some reason, my mind went to one picture, and I went into the picture. Like I literally went into the picture, and then I was in another place and another time.
Wow.
And it was in my past. And I was like, I think I came out of that meditation, and I was like, what the fuck? I mean, it was insane. But if people don't try to meditate and push through the pain in your back, push through, oh, I meditate, but I just fall asleep. I get it, because transcendental meditation didn't work for me. Nothing worked for me until the guided meditations. But what you find there and what you discover is your true inner self. And it is the natural state of everything, because we are all one. And it is pure, unconditional love. And it will just
Love and bless.
love and bliss. It will remake everything about you. It will cure the past. It will, everything. It's like hit the reset. Insecurities, boom. Addictions, boom. Depression. I haven't had depression in 1.5 years. And I mentioned, I go for 4 days, and it would get dark.
No,
And it got so bad that sometimes I wondered, is this life even worth living? I mean, I never probably would have said that to anybody, but that's literally what, if I wasn't brought up crazy religious, I mean, who knows what some people might do. And that's why we're making these videos.
Exactly.
Those people in that place,
Yeah.
with that pain and that suffering, they have to know something exists. Because I didn't know. Unless Johnny and I were trying to manifest some money, and then we ended up finding,
And guess what? All the other stuff, you peel back the onion, you don't need any of it.
none of it.
Everything is right here.
Awakening, we would go like, I just want everything to be simple. I don't want any complications.
Yeah.
I stopped listening to songs on the radio, mainstream radio, because it would take me back to negative. I wanted to be in nature. Remember, we're like, let's just build a cabin somewhere and just like sit there and look at the water or stream that would go by.
I was ready to get
At first, I was like, I don't need anything. I don't need my family. I don't need anything. I can literally go sit in a cave and be happy. And then, but that was right after all of this.
Yeah.
Because you literally feel like, I have found everything I've ever needed, and it is this. And anyone who hasn't experienced that, it's like impossible to even describe. How's that wet spot working for you, Johnny? By the way, people are probably like, what wet spot? There was a huge wet spot on this couch.
We'll take a picture of that later. It's right on my bum, too.
It's right on my bum.
Yeah, I'd say if anything, you said this before, is just surrender to it, man. I mean, even this morning, my head was going crazy. I did a meditation this morning. I go, surrender, John, surrender. And if you just say that to yourself, it happens. It just, deep.
I slept through my meditation this morning. So, hey, it happens to people that have been doing this for a while.
There was blessings of energy centers I did, and I'll never forget this. And I remember this light coming from the left, and it went to the right, and it went to the left. And then when it did this, it was so strong, I could feel the energy go right through my head. It was bizarre.
So it's the visual with your eyes closed, and even I wear an eye mask, so I know there's no light coming in. And meanwhile, I'm seeing all sorts of light. I think I told you the one time, it was so cool. In a meditation, you're trying to relax, no thoughts, stay present, let go, surrender, right? And I was having one of those, God, I can't relax, I can't, whatever. And then I started to go deeper, and then I felt like I was, and it's that big breath. You do like a big breath. That's when for some reason it's that last, like it's starting to, and then it just, and I remember I was eyes closed in the meditation, and it was like fuzzy, like normal, like fuzzy. And then I was like, it's like mist or something. And then all of a sudden, it's like you come right through the mist, and it's like this beautiful night sky with all these stars. And I could zoom in at stars. My eyes are closed. It's like,
I know.
It's crazy. But it's not just the visual, right? It's the sensations. It's the feelings. It's almost like, and sometimes you just tingle.
Oh, yeah, you get these little jerks. I always related to like resetting a computer and plugging a computer.
Oh yeah.
All of those thoughts, and don't get me wrong, it's not like you're brain dead, because actually you're as sharp and as intuitive as you'll ever be. But it's just like a reset. All of a sudden, anxiety, angst, whatever's going on, racing minds, it's just gone. And you reset the program, and it's just pure bliss.
That's a great point. When I'm saying reset earlier, I'm talking about like the entire, all the crap you want to get rid of, the angst and being critical, and like you get rid of all that. But what you're talking about is the daily stuff. Stuff's happening in the morning. We got some drama with the family or the boss. You can literally go, I'm going to go find a quiet space for 30 minutes. I can do a meditation, and it's just like, I'm back. I'm back to normal. Yeah. Now I got to smile back. I can interact with the family or the wife because we're going to go on a date night, and I'm all good. It's just like this amazing tool that you can leverage.